What up, chat? What up, y'all? We're back with another episode of From the Logo. Right now, still waiting on the rest of the team to show up. But we could do our thing a little bit solo here too for a minute while they all get in here. While everyone trickles in here. A lot to talk about today. A lot did happen. Big games last night in terms of the playing. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights? How you doing? Quite a few big games last night. Sixers, Heat, great game. Bulls, Hawks, not so much a great game, but team had to win and the team did win, so that was cool. I guess we'll start off. We'll start off with talking about Joel Embiid versus Jimmy Butler. And we gotta talk about Jimmy Butler, man, because I understand he got hurt. He got hurt and was playing through that injury. But the situation that happened is when you have a guy that chilled throughout the season.
Jalen,
we got Dub in the building.
You're all by yourself.
Hey man, sometimes start what they say to start.
You better than me. I was never gonna start all by myself. You're crazy.
It's all good.
Never in my life, bro.
Really? No, hey man, nothing wrong with flying solo here and there. Sometimes it's cool.
I mean, I hear
some alone time. I need some alone time.
Nah, I'm good, buddy. If somebody tell me they're gonna be here, man, they're not here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not doing it.
That's crazy.
Nah, okay, bro, Steve. But yeah, what's good? What's on the topic, man?
Hey, man. I mean, look, we're gonna get to quite a few topics today. The end of the Warriors dynastic era. That's definitely big. What we're gonna talk about.
Is that dynastic even a word?
Hey, it just might be. I'm pretty sure it is. I've heard it before. So yeah, I think it definitely is a word.
It is a word. It is a word. Okay, dynastic. I dead ass just thought you made that up on the fly. I swear.
I don't know if I'm that good, but hey, it would be cool. But yeah, we can start with your team yesterday.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I really don't.
Sometimes in life you
this was hurtful. Yep. I mean, and shout out to everyone who showed love last night. Go check out Dub's World. We are back to posting up more consistently. So yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, I was streaming for like 4 hours in a row because I went to Lowe's playback and everything, and I was like, bro, I gotta get off this chair. But yeah, I was watching Miami, bro, and now Jimmy Butler's hurt. He has no MCL, bro, and we're cooked. We're never winning a chip. Miami's never winning a chip. We're not winning a chip in the Jimmy Butler era. The Jimmy Butler era it should be closed right now.
So two eras are coming to an end.
The only person, I'm not gonna lie, the only person that can save us is if Donovan Mitchell comes to Miami. If D Mitch comes to Miami in whichever way, through the grace of God, that is the only way that will save this Jimmy Butler era. But until then, man, Jimmy keeps getting hurt more and more and more often. He was even battling injuries in the postseason last year. Bro, he's cooked. His health is cooked. He's always been hurt. But you know what? I got a lot to say about this game, Jalen. I said this last night. I'm so upset with Eric Spoelstra, bro. If you see Tyler Herro literally doing bull crap, B-U-L-L-S-H-I-T, sugar honey iced tea. And you just you refuse to neglect giving some Bam offensive touches, bro? Are you crazy?
Herro took 27 shots?
Bro, Herro took 27 shots. He was shooting, like Gifted loves to say, tour dates. Why is Bam Adebayo not getting more touches to diversify the offense? Like, come on, bro. And then Nick Nurse figured out our zone in the second half. And then he started running our own zone against us. What the hell?
And lack of shooting got exposed a little bit?
Espo was getting cooked. But, bro, I don't even – the season's over. I don't even care if we win and playing. We're not beating the Celtics.
You don't believe in Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro stepping up?
Doesn't matter. No.
Doing their thing. I think they can beat the Bulls. They can
win and play. You think I care? We're going to lose to the Celtics. We're going to lose to the Celtics, bro.
I've seen crazier things happen.
No, you haven't.
Things happen.
No, you
No.
haven't. Even the Bucks,
Can't say.
even
No,
Miami last year wasn't as crazy as if the Terry Rozier and Tyler Herro led Miami Heat beats the Boston Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis,
That's assuming
Drew
Terry's
Holiday.
even healthy.
Y'all don't
Exactly.
remember Team USA beating Team Russia in hockey? Do you believe in miracles? It happened. Do we believe Warriors beating the Dallas Mavericks? It happens.
This will be worse than that.
It would be. No, I'm like, it would be. Without Jimmy Butler,
It'd be way worse than that.
I might call
it's
Spoelstra the GOAT. I'm not
worse.
gonna lie. If they somehow win this game and it beat Boston,
That's like asking for lightning to strike at an exact spot. You feel me? Like lightning striking, it happens. We know this and extremely rare. But you be like, nah, it's gotta land right on that light pole right there, bro. Right on that light pole.
Right at those coordinates.
Right there, bro.
But realistically, Boston,
exactly
like Tatum would probably have to get hurt. That's the only kind of see. He would probably have to get hurt or something along those lines. What do you think of last night's game, Gifted?
That was a great game to watch, man. I did watch it. I gotta say, the way that the Sixers could not beat a zone was very comical. How many times, Dub, did we watch Joel Embiid flash to the mid, but then catch the ball at the top of basically a step inside of the 3-point line, trying to create offense from there? And how many times did they just not go to middle? The only player that kept them in the game consistently and knew what to do on the court through 3 quarters was Nicholas Batum. Crazy game for Nicholas
Batum. Shout out Batum.
He was so good. He was
Ultimate
so good.
Vet. He played. This is how he plays for Team France all the time. You guys don't know Nicholas Batum internationally. He plays like this all the time for France.
Good.
For some reason, yeah, he's absurd. Like he's incredible. He plays like an MVP when he's with them. And every now and then the NBA, you see it, and it just reminds me like this is France, Nicholas Batum.
They didn't know what to do. Like that team versus Miami, the zone was really shaking them. Joel Embiid was pretty much a no-show through 3 quarters. The fouling stuff wasn't working. He wasn't finding his shot. His body language was pretty bad. But also even Tyrese Maxey, I mean, his decision-making was not good. Like he was standing there at the top not knowing what to do. And it's like, bro, they're running the same zone. Go to the middle, shoot the 3. And they kept passing to where it came down to 1 or 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock, and they're just taking bad shots. Also, Tobias Harris was god awful. He's dog shit. I'm sorry. We got we really have to speak about Tobias Harris because he's that player that people don't watch, but they think, oh, he could put up maybe 18, 19 points. He's okay. He's solid. His defense was awful. Dub, did you see how offensively too sometimes that he was trying to post up Caleb Martin and Caleb wasn't letting it happen? Like he was such a negative. And then as soon as he hits the bench, the Sixers go on their run. It was a wild game, bro. It was very fun game.
That's when Buddy started cooking up. It was insane. But shout out to Buddy. Buddy definitely sparked a run for them in the 3rd quarter. That definitely helped them out to gain momentum. Tobias, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm still love to believe Tobias Harris is a hooper, but that game last night was disgusting. I think everything he did was terrible. I'm not even joking. Every shot he took, every layup he took, every defensive adjustment he had to make was just god awful. Bro. He was just terrible, and
his all-ball defense was a trouble.
Oh my god!
That he were eating off that every time too.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And when you talk about Joe, listen, Miami out. Actually, the way I look at it is, and I find it weird with the Sixers, where even though we were denying and beat the ball a lot in that zone, the refusal to just get him the ball is crazy to me. But if you watch him, Joel Embiid, I don't know, bro. He playing like he a fat man right now. Like he was barely giving effort like that up until like the 4th quarter. But the whole game, he was chilling. I'm not even joking. Mm-hmm. He was chilling the whole entire game. And I'm thinking about this gift, and I'm like, is this man still hurt? I'm like, is he still hurt?
I think his conditioning is not 100%, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is what I hate the most of. Because again, it's like every time I watch him be in the postseason, I gotta ask myself, is he healthy or not? What can I criticize? Because if you remove that label from it, he had an awful game until the 4th quarter.
Yes.
Like his decision making wasn't there, the reads weren't there, bad turnovers, and more importantly, the lack of self-awareness to say, I'm Joel Embiid, get me in the zone, Maxey. You work off of me, and let's attack the zone. They were just flabbergasted at how to beat a zone. It was really like some elementary stuff we're not seeing in the first half.
Even them breaking the zone, they weren't breaking it because of Embiid. And
no,
I was watching it. I'm confused. I'm like, bro, how aren't y'all trying to beat the zone? A freaking 7-foot phenom who could destroy them in the middle. I said it just wasn't making sense to me.
And the zone was coming too. You understand when you play Miami, the zone is coming. Like sure. where was the preparation by the coaching staff for the zone? Like, listen, I got to be so honest. If Nicholas Batum doesn't show up in the way that he did, they lose that game. Yes. They are the 8th seed in this, thing. But instead, he popped out, and I'm telling you, the defense, the passes, and all of that. I feel like it really got the team going, and he brought enough time to where down the stretch in the fourth quarter, that's where you saw Joel Embiid really show up. But Batum, man, that will go down in history as the Nicholas Batum game for sure.
Baton. That's what I call it.
That was just a game where I think star players on both sides didn't really show up the way they need to show up. So the role players, whichever team had a role player, step up, and Batum happened to be the best guy out there.
Can we talk about how bad Tyrese Maxey is? I keep
he wasn't great.
Yo, bro, like the Tyrese Maxey gas has got to relax because, bro,
he's very dependent on Embiid. He's very dependent.
No, he's just Embiid. A shot. He's just a jump. He's a jump shot taker. He can't do nothing else. He could take amazing jump shots off a screen.
He's very quick.
Amazing jump shots off a catch and shoot. And yes,
fast.
What's it called? What's it called? Gifted again when they're close. Oh yeah. What's it called? Trying to beat players off of closeouts.
Yeah,
amazing in that. Everything else is not great. His passing isn't great.
Yeah.
His dribble penetration isn't great. He can't get by. Can't get by his defenders consistently. His defense is. I'm like, bro, Tyrese Maxey is not who y'all think he is. I swear.
I think he's better than what he showed, but for sure, like. The decision making and the playmaking from him is still the area in his game that he's trying to overall get better at. Like that quickness and all that stuff is fine and dandy. But again, when you're in a zone, you have to focus on trying to beat the zone. You have to understand how to read the quick digs and the double teams in the zone. And really, through 3 quarters, Tyrese wasn't really doing much of anything either.
Nothing at all.
I just think Maxey, he thrives and understands how to play off of Joel Embiid when Joel Embiid's cooking.
Yes, he does.
When he's getting bucket passes, he knows exactly the spots on that. But when Joel Embiid's not cooking and he has to carry maybe more of a load, he obviously struggles. Like you said, even breaking down his zone, he clearly struggled with that. He's not used to it, not practicing, whatever it is. He struggles when the defense is keying in on him more than Embiid sometimes.
Yeah,
I also got something for Dub. The Dub's not going to like me saying, but I do have to say it.
Talk to us.
Okay.
Are you bringing up a different game?
No. Tyler Herro. I want to say this about Tyler Herro. I understand how bad he was in the game through the first half and through bits and pieces of the third quarter. But honestly, after the Jimmy injury, no one else was going to take those shots. And I feel like Miami needed offense. They needed someone to run the two-man game with Bam and get shots off. Sorry, Bam could have had his moments to create, but I feel like with Joel Embiid on the floor, that wasn't really a viable look for them. And down the stretch, he was able to make shots. It's just the efficiency isn't great. Now, I 100% understand how bad he shot from the floor, right? Again, if you want to say insert X player into this situation over Tyler Herro, and I'd rather have that player than Tyler, sure, I can buy that. But in the scope of the game, they had no other guard creator, especially after Jimmy's knee went down, which clearly impacted the rest of his game offensively to really, create shots from the perimeter. Caleb Martin, he wasn't really doing shit. Jaime had moments where he was doing some closeouts, some threes, but in terms of like creation, in terms of step backs and from the 3-point line with Bam, Duncan Robinson, not available. So it really came down to Tyler. And like, I know that it was hurtful to see him miss all these looks, but he had some good shot quality. Shots weren't falling. Down the stretch, he was just making everything, and they needed Tyler for that game. And it was a very narrow loss, right? But I feel like without him doing that,
One or two of those shots go in, they win the game.
I know you don't like that. I know you don't
Shut
like that.
your ass up, Gifted.
I'm sorry.
Shut
I'm
up.
sorry.
Shut
I'm
up.
sorry.
Because
Gotta be real with you.
No.
Gotta be real with you about it, bro.
No.
Yes.
Because when you
yes.
sit here,
I'm
and
sorry.
tell the world that, oh yeah, I'm on the level of Trey Young and Luka Doncic. When you got Shaq co-signing,
okay,
no. He did it to himself. He did it to himself. No.
Not true,
He did it. He did it to himself. He did it. When you tell us that, when you have a song made about you because of how you're hooping in the postseason, and every single postseason you've been dog water, I am done.
I can give you that.
You haven't been great for 4 years. And even then, look in the finals. He wasn't great in that either. He was great in the Eastern Conference. He was great in the second round. But was he great in the finals? No. So no. Tyler Herro, hell no. And this is where I think you missed it. I'm looking at Espo. How many more times does he got to keep missing for y'all to be like, yo, Bam Adebayo's been a guy who's actually showed up for us great in the clutch.
But not versus Joel Embiid, though.
You think I give
not
a
versus
fuck?
Embiid.
You think I care? You got Tyler Herro.
Bam doesn't have good offense against Joel Embiid teams.
I was gonna say, does Bam ever cook Embiid?
How many shots he made last night? And how many shots did he take?
I actually don't know how many shots
he went 5. He went 5 for 9, and that was with him trying to get it out the mud because his coach wouldn't feed him. You feed that man.
Hold on. Is that also on him though? Because you're a big man. You ask for the ball. You in the middle, be like Herro.
That is no. Well, it's kind of tough.
It's a little 50-50 with Miami.
Because Miami, it's a system, and you got your guys like Jimmy and Herro that Espo's trying to feed off, and Bam's maneuvering around that. And even then, like Terry Rozier is more of a guy they're looking to as well. So it's like, Bam, it's a system. So Bam, my whole thing is that's why I'm looking more at Espo.
Right.
Bro, this man, yo, Gifted. And this is the thing that pisses me off with Tyler Herro, right? And I understand, like, even I still think he's great. He even did in this game. He would do some and make some plays that are like, damn, that's a crazy ass bucket.
Yeah.
Just for him to miss a wide open 3.
And yes. And listen, this is my bigger point to you though, right? The infuriating part about last night for Tyler is that he was making the fuck you ball his life tough ass buckets, but the ones that were wide open he couldn't hit. Now, I would criticize him more if all of his shot profile was bad and he was missing everything, right? It's different when you're like creating good looks, they're just not falling, and then down the stretch when they needed you to show up, Tyler did show up. It just wasn't quite enough because at that point, the Sixers had finally found a way to adjust to the zone, and at that point is where Joel Embiid was really starting to wake up. You get what I'm saying? But
I get you, and somebody said that last night. You want to know what I said? Fuck that shit. You want to know why? Because I seen us cook Jalen Green time and time again, and he makes himself get quality looks, but we cook him all the time because he be missing easy looks. So I'm looking at Herro, bro. How are you missing open looks?
Hey, Low, pull out Low. Hey, Low.
Low, you want the link? I'll send it real quick, man. Because this is despicable.
I know everyone keeps asking. Me and Ticket have an agreed date that he says he's going to pay by.
Date?
Date. He said no, date. So he said 22nd, he goes send the bread. So on 22nd, we're going to see the PayPal. Hopefully, comes on in.
That shit not coming.
I think it's going to come. I did Ticket is a grown. I think he's an honorable man. Shout out Ticket though. I messaged him earlier. We talked. He's like, yeah, 22nd. Cool. Coming in on 22nd.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Gifted, especially this morning after hearing that Jimmy Butler hurt his MCL.
So tough.
I'm just sitting here, bro. Like I almost cried. I mean, bro, I'm over here. We're never gonna win. We're never gonna win. Gifted, never.
It's the ad
Jimmy Butler. Jalen mentioned it before. You got the Golden State Warriors come to the end there. That era. Yeah, the Jimmy Butler era is done. It's failed. It's failed immensely. He's been on here for like 4 years? 4 or 5 years.
I think 4 or 5 years now. Yeah.
Yo.
Y'all have had a lot of success in these years, though, man. I'm sorry.
A lot of success. Couldn't get it done. Couldn't get over the hump. Obviously, couldn't get that championship.
I mean, it's hard to win.
It is. A lot of great teams don't win. A lot of great teams don't win.
He had to play LeBron and Anthony Davis led teams. He had to play stacked Boston Celtic teams. He had to play Steph Curry, Golden State.
Take pride.
In the finals.
I take pride in what we were able to do. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot
for sure. Take pride in. But I want to win.
I know you want to win. Yeah.
I want to win, man.
It happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Herro just drops a 35 piece on Chicago, because I think he's going to have similar. It's
going to be a fun game to watch. I think.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I can see Tyler Herro shooting 15 for 27 instead. Having a really good shooting night against Chicago. Kind of how Jonathan Murray did, but even more usage. So that should be a good game with that one. Anything to say about Chicago, Atlanta? What do we think about Trey Young? Trey Young obviously is not 100%. I think that's very clear. The shot just wasn't falling for him too. He wasn't as aggressive as he usually is. DeJounte Murray stepped up. But shout out DeMar DeRozan. Played a solid game for all the hate he gets for this kind of this big game drop off. He was balling out. Kobe White doing his thing. So I mean, they look. Chicago's a dangerous team too.
I mean, Kobe White dropped 40 points.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah,
he was doing his thing. Yeah, he was 42. 42.
I didn't watch that game. I will not lie to y'all. I do not.
I did went to sleep. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I literally watched that game, and after what I had 8 hours at work. Then I did like 4 hours.
That's
straight
what I'm
streaming.
saying. I was exhausted.
I was like, you know what, bro? Yeah. I'm not gonna have. I don't feel like watching this, so I went to bed. So I have nothing to say about that game since I didn't watch it. But I mean, I kind of expected the Bulls to win. So
I did too.
So it is what it is. People say, "Oh yeah, Trey's the savior. Trey's this, Trey's that." Shut your ass up, man. He ain't nothing.
Hey man, Trey's good at basketball, but I don't think he played too well in this game. I still have to go back and fully rewatch it. But I mean, I kind of feel like the hopes of Atlanta died as soon as I saw Jalen Johnson get hurt, because he was that heartbeat of that team, and to see him not there, it's like, okay, now it's just Trey Young or let's see what maybe DeJounte can do. With no really wings or good defense, I feel like, okay, this team's gonna get completely lit up by the Bulls, and that's what happened. You know what I'm saying?
I've been asking myself this question all year.
Yeah, what up?
So I'm gonna ask you guys as well. Is Trey Young a player that's conducive to winning?
Yes,
he can. Yes. Still, yeah.
Wait, let me rephrase it. Yeah. As a number one option, is Trey Young conducive to winning?
No, he is not a number one.
When you say conducive to winning, though, it's just like I think he's a guy that can lead a playoff team. Like his team will make the playoffs. Him as a number one if he puts the right piece around him.
I think that's the ceiling.
I think he means in terms of trying to win the entire thing. Right?
Yeah, championship is a no. Him as a number one winning a championship, no, definitely not. No, definitely not. Do I think he can win a playoff series? Absolutely. We've seen before him as a number one, right? But just getting you over the hump, probably not going to happen.
Especially considering how every year, and I'm not, especially in postseason settings, he got saved by those couple games against Boston. I just think Boston just let pull the pedal off. You feel me?
I hear you.
Anthony McKee, you can suck on my nuts for how boring this is, bro. But listen, right?
He'd be better than Maxey next to Embiid.
But listen, right? Yeah. But my whole thing is when I look at Trey Young, he's a guy that he's gonna get cooked defensively. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that, because of his size, he can't get to the paint and finish well. So he's a guy that has to rely mainly on jump shots. And his playmaking is great. I can't even diminish his playmaking. I think he's awesome. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how a scenario like that could work with a guy like him.
I think the main thing that makes you ask that beyond his play style is how bad he is as an off-ball player. I feel like if he had more portability in terms of being able to come off the ball and provide more value in those types of ways, you could probably see more. But his shot profile isn't the greatest. He's not as efficient as people might think Trey Young is. At his peak of his powers, though, he's still one of the best players. Like when Trey Young has it going, that floater, those lob passes, and his deep threes, I mean, he's right up there with some of the best outs in the league. But, as you said, when you're trying to construct a roster around a guy, if you are the smallest player on the floor, defensively, it's a question mark, and you can't really play off of each other as much. And our offense is normally better with the ball being in your hands, but you also have problems when they blitz you a lot and they put like bigger bodies on you. How reliable is that going to be in a postseason run where there's a Giannis on the other side, where there's, a Tatum, a Shea, you know what I'm saying? Giannis, Kawhi, right? Like all of these bigger players who are on other teams than you. I think in a vacuum, if you told me that I could construct the perfect team around Trey Young to win, I think it's possible, but I don't think that it's here with this Hawks team. And I think that he, as a player, would have to grow to make that worked up. So I'm with you on that.
And that's why I'm worried about the Hawks. Like, I don't even know what they can do if they're buying in on like with Trey Young, because especially with the capital and what players are going to be asking for with their contracts, you need to honestly what they need. The only way I see this working is with them building through the draft,
right?
Because you don't have really the money to be spending on all of these players to make up for Trey Young, similar to how they did with Stephen Curry, right? But besides Jalen Johnson, like a lot of y'all guys ain't panning out, like Okongwu, but a lot of them aren't like on this little.
We've been waiting for Okongwu for like a couple years now. I feel like Okongwu would be like he's gonna go. He's gonna.
I mean, I hear you, but I really feel like they hit on Johnson though. I think Johnson's
the only one. Johnson's the only one, but everything else is like, okay, you can't build the draft around this guy. I mean, he's 25 years old. How much longer are we going to be in this losing scenario? And he's good enough to make him what? Like mid 35, 37, 38, 30, 40 wins. But I mean, that's not enough to really build around him. So if I'm the Hawks,
I'm gonna look to trade him. I would look to trade him, get and maybe build, maybe not necessarily build around Jalen Johnson, but give him an opportunity to really lead the team, see how he can develop. I think he's more likely a number 2 as well on a championship team, maybe a 3. But I will say there are a couple teams. I think the Brooklyn Nets and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans want to move off CJ McCollum, replace him with Trey Young. I like Trey Young next to Ingram, Zion.
That's going to be even worse.
No, so they got Trey Murphy there. They got
Pelicans.
They got
Bro, Trey Young and Zion defensively. I don't really like that.
Oh my God. They're going to be getting cooked. And especially with Zion, how he's never healthy. I mean, the dude rolled his ankle to play. You can't make this up. Yo, Gifted, you cannot make this up, bro. This man is always hurt. You can't. It's like
Joel Embiid, man.
You're balling.
Yo,
he was about to win that game.
Yo,
he was cooking.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you didn't see our text my text message, right? Because I was like, I didn't even respond the whole time because I was like, nah, bro.
No, he literally struggled in that first quarter. It looked really rough. Yeah,
chat. Y'all don't know this. Oh, in the first quarter, right? Zion just over here, like being trash.
Yeah,
so I text Gifted. I said, yeah, you see this shit? You see how Zion be? He got locked up by old ass LeBron. Then for him to turn around, lay up on
second quarter, third quarter,
second quarter, turnaround shot, another lay, dump off. And I was just like, whoa. Then in the fourth quarter, bro, it was the craziest thing.
Nah, it was nuts, bro.
In the fourth quarter, this man got so much hype. This man was just floater laying AD religiously.
Cooking.
And I'm like, yo, this is fake. I don't believe it.
Man, I gotta say, okay. First off, big shout out to Trey Young. We'll see what happens in that overall situation. I do just want to say real quick before we move, from that topic. Again, building a team around Trey Young is hard. The answer surely is not trading all of your future assets for DeJounte Murray, thinking he's going to be the answer to win with Trey. I thought that was a dumb trade at the time. The Spurs, they're going to be up off that trade. But let's get to that Pelicans game. I got to say this, man. A lot, Dub, when I tell you a lot was happening when I watched this game, all year long, people have been saying New Orleans needs a point guard. They need a point guard. They need someone who can initiate offense. And what I saw in that game was Jose Alvarado becoming that point guard they exactly needed. The shit that Jose Alvarado was doing in this game, bro. First off, he had so many moments in the game where I thought he was never coming back. Fought through the injury, played hard, great defense, but the reads were insane. He was making some crazy passes. And it's sad because we're seeing it from Jose Alvarado, who's still very small, as good as he is defensively, which you saw LA target in moments. But what frustrates me is how is Jose Alvarado playing a more complete overall game than CJ McCollum? How is Jose Alvarado giving you more value than a guy that days before against my team, the Warriors, drops 28 points on 9 threes, but when it's time to play another team, when it matters, you're shooting 9 for 24 for the game, and you're awful. Like he was
a bad shooting night, bad game.
He was god awful. The shooting was bad, the defense was bad, the decision making was bad. Jose was thoroughly outplaying him, and I think, Dub, everything that we've been saying about the Pelicans on this show so far showed up in that playing game, because what you saw was they were such a complete unit with lineups you wouldn't expect. Like that lineup at the end that had Zion, Jose, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Nance. That was a crazy lineup. But you want to know who wasn't in that lineup? Brandon Ingram. Because down the stretch in that fourth quarter, if you notice, they pulled BI pretty quickly. BI and CJ were pulled. They were not on the floor down the stretch.
BI and then still working back from that injury too. I just think he was pushing it, and the team knows.
Man, I don't know. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that shit.
I'm not gonna lie. That was so odd to me.
It was odd.
It was crazy odd how, bro. Instead of putting in BI, you put in Dyson Daniels.
He put in Dyson for BI. Yeah. Yes.
For what? For him to let up an open three. So, because I was watching the game with some people, and it was like, oh, yeah, you put Dyson in there for defense. Okay. For him just to let up a three. But I was like, bro, Zion got hurt. CJ's been playing, because then they was like, well, Brandon Ingram isn't playing that good offensively. CJ McCollum was still out there playing like trash.
Yeah, they brought in CJ after Zion got hurt. I thought after Zion got hurt, they were going to sub in BI. Okay, now Zion's going BI, Cook now bring us home. I thought that's what it was, because in the moment I was saying, see, this is where we look at coaching, and you have to appreciate the chess match, because I'm telling you, that unit with Zion was humming. Like, I was saying, do not sub BI back in. I know it's going to be like a big news story if y'all lose, but that lineup was giving them the best value. And I feel like all of those players rotationally served a purpose, right? I don't know if it was a health thing. You might be right, Jalen, but I was watching it. BI looked very, very frustrated. And more than anything, I just felt like that coach saw, no, this lineup got it. We're getting back in the game. I got to ride this lineup. I think that was done intentionally. I really, really do.
Yeah, no, I just think BI, like what? He played one game. He just came back from injury, missed a whole bunch of time, came back for the last game of the regular season. I think played 23 minutes, 26, something on those lines. And I think if they're still in the regular season, they would bring him back slowly, up that minutes limit. But obviously, because of the playing game, they probably wanted to put him more. But like I said, with the way that unit was humming and the way Ingram was playing,
they were hooping.
I do attribute, like, Ingram was not. Like, he wasn't his usual self. Usually the Ingram early on to see against the Lakers, he always cooks the Lakers. Anytime he plays the Lakers, he kind of remembers, he used to play for them. He used to drop 25, 30 on them consistently. It just wasn't his night. So I'm not too mad at that, keeping behind the bed, because I just think, again, the injury situation with that. But Zion, Zion doesn't get hurt, though, I think they win the game.
Did you see BI's face? I
saw his face. No, he looked mad to not be out there.
Yeah.
Well, always mad when they're not out there, though.
And I'm not going to lie. I was watching that game. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Fire Willie Green, because he was pissing me off. Bro, they went on a 9-0 run. Austin Reeves hits a layup to make it go 9-2. Have the momentum on your side. You call time? Are you serious?
It's a bit of a strange timeout.
Are you kidding me?
A strange timeout.
And then what's it called? There was one other thing, but I remember the Brandon Ingram not playing him. I was like, bro, what the hell is this guy even thinking
I didn't have any issue with that, honestly, bro. I had zero. Listen, that unit, when they were making the run, I said to myself,
I'm talking about Zion was out.
Oh, no, yeah. After Zion went out, I surely thought, okay, surely now BI comes back in the game. Yes. And to sub in CJ instead, you get smaller. CJ is also shooting tour dates as well. Why would you not bring in BI in place of CJ to be the initiator? Also, the bigger part is the size. At least with BI, bad or whatever, you at least have size out there to carry the game out. Now, to CJ's credit, he made some big shots, but the lack of size made them give up good shot quality at the end of that game.
I think AD got a couple easy buckets.
And this was the other thing. This was the other thing.
Yeah.
Gifted, I've told you time and time again. And what have I told you? The Zion and Jonas minutes are going to get picked apart through competent offenses.
Yeah.
And what was happening? And for a minute, for a minute. It took him so long to get this man Jonas off the freaking floor, bro. He tried to run that zone, and the Lakers was cooking that zone.
They were cooking him alive, yeah.
It was god awful. So I'm watching like, Willie Green, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm not even in basketball like that. But a blind man can see that Zion and Jonas minutes are going to be getting cooked.
I mean, but he cut it pretty quickly though, because again, in the second half, you saw less of the second half for sure.
He stopped doing it, but when they were getting cooked, he was letting that shit rock. He let that joint rock for far too long. That's how he really went on that run, you know. So by that time, they were doing an uphill battle because ever since he stopped that, Zion and the Pelicans, they were doing their thing and meshing, and the Lakers weren't really going crazy like they were. Honestly, they lost that game in that second quarter run. That second quarter run is what really killed them.
That was a big run, yeah. They have to come back from all that stuff. And like, I'm just saying, I saw the adjustments with Willie Green. Sure, they came in late, but I still believe that in the moment, if Zion doesn't go out, I really feel like they have the strongest chance to almost secure that game. Because I'm telling you, when I say everyone was clicking, the shit that Jose Alvarado and Zion were doing in transition with the passing and the reads, they were just making every other play. As soon as he went out, I felt the heartbeat of that team fade.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, as soon as he went out, I was like, oh yeah, Pelicans not winning.
I said the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
I said the same thing to myself,
it is
bro.
What it is. Benefit the Lakers. They move on, but hey, the Pelicans could still win this next game. It should be a good one with the players remaining.
And my back and Gifted.
It's possible.
That whole fourth quarter when Zion was making those lays, I was like, oh yeah, they're not going to lose. I was like, they're not losing. I said, Zion's playing like this. I said, there's no way they're going to lose.
He went out with 40 and 11 with still a lot of time left to play, by the way. He could have probably had 45 or 50 at that rate if he kept playing.
He was good for at least 6 more points. But I guess moving on to a team that also couldn't get it done.
Yep.
And also, is that could be the end of an era, except before the end of a great run. A team of the decade, probably the team of a generation to a lot of people. The Golden State Warriors lose to the Sacramento Kings. Klay Thompson. I just want to say the joke's on Klay Thompson. This is a guy who, battled through those injuries, Achilles, ACL, came back. One of the top 5 shooters of all time, definitely top 10, maybe top 5. Some people might not agree. Sad to see him go down, because this was a guy we've seen plenty of times in big games. He would get you 20 in a quarter. You know what I mean? He would get you 30, 40 in a game. He was right there putting up points with Steph Curry. So what do you guys think about the Golden State Warriors? It's a time to finally move on from Klay Thompson, Draymond. Because Steph is still Steph. You can still, I think, build a contender around him if you do it on the fly real quick. What do you think about that? We'll start with Gifted, the Warriors fan over here.
Yeah, so first off, I got to say, that was a shitty way to go out for that Warriors team, man. I watched this game all the way through, obviously, and it was pretty shameful how they went out. First off, Klay Thompson having 0 points, like literally nothing, is crazy. But to be honest, what hurt me more was defensively, like Trey Lyles was cooking this man alive. Like off of closeouts, Klay Thompson could not keep the ball secure on Trey Lyles. It was very, very bad. And then it's like I'm watching it and it's okay. They're throwing the kitchen sink at Steph. Keon Ellis is playing great defense. And it's like no one showed up to play. Wiggins was 4 for 13. Klay Thompson was like 0 for 10. 0 for 10 from the field. And that was all she wrote. I think the fact that no one came to play in that Warriors game, even Jonathan Kuminga looked rattled, which again kind of speaks to what I've said for years now. The idea that you think that you can just stash away these young players, not play them, and then play them in meaningful games at the end when they haven't had that sample size to, be ready for that moment is kind of crazy. I think the fact that for a lot of this season, you weren't getting these guys ready to be in a situation for success. And then in a one-off elimination game, you kind of scrap everything. For weeks and weeks and weeks heading into this regular season game, Steve Kerr was like, oh, yeah, we got to get Trey Jackson Davis more burn. Like, he's going to be a big a big player for us when it matters. And then you sub him out after 7 minutes in the first and he doesn't check back in the game and you're getting beat off of everything. The fact that you have Chris Paul in there, who's not a scoring threat, so they don't have to guard him. Draymond, not a scoring threat. Kevon Looney, not a scoring threat. The fact that you have so many non-scoring threats on the floor is why your offense is trash. And a lot of those scoring threats cannot play defense, which is why your defense wasn't good. And I said this coming in. I said coming to the season, based on what the Warriors have done by trading draft capital, by not getting pieces that make sense for this Warriors team, by not getting better, by having a more secure second option on the team, this team isn't going anywhere. They're not a contender this season. This is a bridge year for salary to see what they can do. But I got to be honest, I didn't think the season would be as bad as what it ultimately evolved to. And we're saying all of that. If Draymond doesn't get suspended 20 games, I'm confident that this team is a higher playing seed, if not the 6th seed in the conference. But you make all these decisions. You have a very up and down season where you play the most clutch time games in the association, and you're losing in these stretches because of poor decision making, poor lineups. Now you're at a spot where you have to face reality. If this team had gone on some crazy run to where they get in the playoffs, they don't have to play Denver until the conference finals, they would have fooled themselves into trying to bring back everyone else. This is the harsh reality that has to set in. Are you going to extend Klay Thompson? Are you going to get rid of Chris Paul? You should have done that years ago. What are they going to do this offseason is going to be the question. And even me as a fan, I don't have any answers. I really don't. I think with the cap space, they're kind of fucked. Chris Paul is going to be gone, which is good, but what are the valuable must-have rotation players that they're going to be able to sign? These are the questions we're all wondering. But in terms of Klay Thompson, big shout out to you. Great player. Not overpaying Klay Thompson. If you want to get $35 million, hey, be happy in Orlando with the Magic because I pray that they don't overpay Klay Thompson.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets you've done a law for organization contract where it's like they understand he's over the hill, but they just pay him.
Man, if they play Draymond, they might as well pay him too.
Say, like Klay, they might give Klay 3 years, 75 to be like
Draymond be punching people and everything, bro.
Yeah,
they paid him.
I think Steph holds some accountability here too. Like there's no way you're only taking 16 shots in a game.
Yeah, he only took 16. Yeah,
I need you to me if I'm that team, Steph, shoot us out the game or shoot us to win it. The way they're
playing, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, they weren't letting him touch the ball in that game, bro. It was wild.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. And that's why somebody called me a go through the grind merchant, right? Because I'm watching Steph, and I always hated Stephen Curry, right? Mainly because he was always on a crew that he was blessed with, so he never went through the grind. And I'm watching him on this crew right here.
Talk about it.
And I'm watching him on this crew right here, and I'm just like, bro. Like I don't know why people trying to cook Stephen Curry. Like he's playing so bad. He's falling off. I'm like, bro, this is a really bad crew. And the fact that now teams are like, all right, Klay Thompson, you really on a threat on this floor no more.
Crazy to say that about Klay Thompson, bro.
Yeah. Why would to say that? Yeah. Draymond Green, never been a threat since 2016. We living with Andrew Wiggins now, who's now his contract is severely overpaid. So it's like, bro, Stephen Curry is getting so much attention on him and people neglecting their assignments just to key in on Steph. Bro, I can't be mad at dude, bro. I'm not criticizing him for anything. 16 shots? I'm not hearing that bullshit.
I want to be more aggressive, yes.
No, bro, what you want him to do? He can't get the ball. He can't get the ball. And when he gets the ball, when
he was doing all that shit in the first half. And they literally said, fuck it. Looney, please kill us. Please, please try to score.
The game plan was anybody beat us except Steph. I completely understand it. Anybody beat us except Steph. But there's still find ways to get him even decently open looks because you're Steph Curry. You can pull up from 35 feet. I'd rather
that's not a decent look, bro.
But for Steph Curry, it is. For me, I'd rather him shoot us out the game than going out like that. I want to take 10 threes.
I 100% agree with that. And again, like I will say this in terms of watching every game this regular season, even I can acknowledge Steph Curry had a lot of times where his decision making wasn't the greatest, where his efficiency from two, every other year he alternates where he has a great year from two, then a bad year, then a great year. This was a bad year for Steph in terms of converting twos by his standards. But even with all that being said, you saw a lot of his aggressiveness come in those fourth quarters, which is why he's in that clutch player of the year conversation to will this team to wins. My bigger point is, regardless of that, when you have so many guys that teams do not have to respect, when you have Kevon Looney playing in a elimination game where the entire year Kevon Looney has looked extremely out of shape, where he catches the ball, it's 50 million Kobe pump fakes until he passes the ball or turns the ball over. When you have that many negative offensive players on the floor, it's rough, especially when Klay Thompson is going to be 0 for 8 and Andrew Wiggins is 4 for 13, where they're not shooting threats. When you have so many liabilities offensively, you put a limit on just how great you can be. Real change has to happen. Again, I don't know what that's going to look like. I know for a fact Chris Paul is gone. I'm kind of happy to see that. Please get some more size and length on the floor. That's really all I got to say with them. Very rough time. I know a lot of people want Steve Kerr fired. Steve Kerr has done a terrible job at coaching this year. A lot of adjustments he could have made earlier in the season. But let's keep it a buck. Blaming the coach for why we're ass when this roster has only 2 wings makes no sense to me. And even with all that being said, again, if Draymond does not have a CTE moment and does not get suspended, it can just play 20 more games. This is a higher seeded team. They're still not winning shit to me, but at least they would have been in the playoff hunt.
Well, they still, and I was critical of Steve Kerr, but at the same time, I mean, they still found a way to win 46 games in a tougher
impressive in the Western Conference.
We've seen in a long time, right? So the fact they were able to do that with such a bad supporting crew, I'm like, you know what? Steve Kerr gets some grace with me. Like you said, tweak the lineups up, tweak some guys around. I'm not going to lie, even though I was kind of just wanted him to go through it, but you got to find a way to move off of Wiggins too. I mean, this guy's
Wiggins got to go too.
Wiggins is bad.
Yeah. Looks like you got to move off a lot of guys. So you're really trying to, I don't want to say rebuild.
So this is my thing with Steph. I really think Steph is a life. I really wholeheartedly believe Steph is a lifer. I don't think he's leaving them.
Yeah, I think he's a lifer too.
I do
think
not
it's cool
think
if they would. I think it's cool if he would get traded or go to a San Antonio. I think that'd be kind of cool to see.
I don't think
Wemby Steph would be fun as hell to watch.
Golden State, I think Golden State would do this. Golden State will probably look at Steph like, yo, listen, 2 options. We trade you or you stay through with us through this process. Yep. It's up to you. It's up to you. So whichever one you want.
I believe it.
He had an option. He could have left for a contender.
Yep.
But he could have stayed.
There was and then Steph would be like, nah, no, this is where I started out and I want to finish here. And I really wholheartedly believe Steph will never leave. He will never leave.
I think being a lifer is so cool. Being a guy who 20 years. Another championship is not another. If he joins another team and he wins a championship, let's say with Giannis, with an Embiid, with let's say Davis and LeBron, whatever it is. That championship, like, it's cool, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot for his legacy.
I agree.
4-time champion, 20 years.
And I was just about to say that, right? Like, what people want Steph to, like, y'all got to stop this. Y'all got to stop this BS of every player that we like just got to leave their scenario. Like, sometimes that's not. Yeah, sometimes, like, yo, have y'all thought about Steph probably doesn't even want to leave. What more does he have to prove in the NBA? If he wins another ring, cool. Like, nobody's going to be sitting here and pushing him on like a crazy level that he's not already on, you know? Like, he's not. So, like, let's be honest here, bro. Steph has already solidified his name.
All that he's got left is just more years of elite play.
Exactly. And that's it. But there's nothing more Steph can do unless what?
I don't know, people
unless y'all expect Steph to win 2 or 3 straight.
Yeah, hold up. But if he was that 5th ring, to a lot of people, that 5th ring would probably jump into like top 5 all time.
A lot of people try to push him now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So it's like if it boosts him, it boosts him a bit, and it's love that he hasn't been getting already. Now I think there will be more conversation with him being top 5 for sure, but like it's nothing that he's already there. Like he's already there. He's in the goated NBA basketball NBA point guards of all time is between him and Magic, and he's in those discussions. If he wins one more, guess what? Magic's 5 to Steph's 5. Like it's still right there. So it really doesn't mean anything if we're gonna be honest. So unless he wins 2 straight, which I'm not gonna lie, like y'all really think any team Steph goes?
I was asking a lot to see any player win twice in this era. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, good luck with that. But Steph ain't got nothing to prove. Stay on Golden State. I mean, get your money and enjoy.
I just want to quickly say to Kent, he said, I blame you and KB and Haley. I want to be so clear. We told y'all this shit was kind of cooked. We literally said at the beginning, hey, man, we'll see what we could do. But this team is not a true title contender. You can't convince me that a championship team loses Otto Porter Jr. You have an inconsistent Jordan Poole who you trade for Chris Paul, and you get no size or length to replace Otto or some wing presence. Andrew Wiggins regresses severely from what he was when you won the title. I didn't really see it this year. However, I will say this, the Steve Kerr shit, I think he had a bad season, but I swear to God, if you come into next season making these same mistakes, I'm going to feel the way because he spent a lot of this season playing Corey Joseph, Corey Joseph, who's not in the NBA anymore. Right. he was playing him over Jonathan Kuminga and Trace. So to me, it's like, all right, fine. If you need a whole season to know that you were making dumb decisions, fine. Don't bring that shit up again next year, though.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
I didn't think Steve Kerr, like, he'll never get fired. He'll just have to resign. This is one of the things I don't think he'll ever get fired because I don't think you fire coaches with 4 championships.
What? What?
You don't fire. You let him resign.
I promise you. I promise you.
What coach?
Bill Belichick got fired, bro.
I mean, he got to resign. He got to leave. It wasn't no fire.
They forced him to leave.
Okay, that's be real. Yeah, behind the scenes.
They did force him to leave behind the scenes, low key. Yeah,
come on. Yeah. That's it, behind the scenes. But we're gonna see. It's gonna be you can resign.
If Bill Belichick got pushed out, I guess not fired.
Sure, you can
Bill Belichick got fired. Anybody could get fired. Phil 100%. Jackson was pushed out.
They don't get fired again. They don't get fired. They get pushed out.
Steve Kerr will get pushed out or fired, whichever one. Yeah, he will no longer be coaching for them.
He'll say, "I want to resign and spend time with the family." That's what's going to happen.
It should be cat.
Yeah,
it'll be cat.
Hey, who knows? Shout out Steve Kerr. Man.
I do want to point out something though. Big shout out to the Kings. Keegan Murray played at an extremely high level in that play-in game, so big shout out to him. It's a good chance that the Kings are going to go to the playoffs because there will be no Zion unless B.I. has this crazy revenge game, extend me, pay me game. We'll see if that happens. But I do think for OKC, this is great for OKC, though, because now they have a much higher chance of getting out of the first round.
So. I don't know. Because if Chet was, I don't know, if Sabonis was giving AD some big body,
I hear you on that.
He about to be cooking Chet. I'm not gonna hold you.
He's gonna get cooked by Shea. Shea is gonna destroy Sabonis defensively.
I honestly believe that series right there, because I do think the Kings are gonna beat the Pelicans. But I think that series right there is gonna be low key one of the best series.
I agree. 2 young teams.
Mm-hmm.
2 young teams.
What's good, Hayes?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, Hayes, you're just in time.
Mr. Bulls winner.
Yeah, hey, you're both gonna make the playoffs. They might really make the playoffs, and maybe.
I'm sorry, bro. Andre Drummond had a CTE moment with the Alex Caruso shit, man. I didn't.
That's the thing with Andre Drummond. Like, he's gonna do about 4 or 5 great things for you over the course of the game, but he's gonna do one stupid thing that you just look at him, you just be like,
"Why,
what the
bro?
fuck was you thinking, bro?
Why, gang? Yeah, I agree.
On top 5 or maybe even top 3 all-time rebounder of all time. Phenomenal rebounder, always will be.
Yeah, because he's bricking his own shot and he gets the board.
Mean, hey, getting boards regardless. How you do it? Hey, defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding. He's amazing. I'll tell you, if Andre Drummond was drafted,
because 90% of them are his own rebound
off his own miss, right? Yeah.
If Andre Drummond was drafted in like 93 and he played from like 93 to 2008, he'd be the NBA's all-time leading rebounder.
Yeah, probably.
He legitimately, I'm telling you, that's how great a rebounder he is. He's really like an all-time great.
Still. Like, and the thing with the thing that's wrong about gassing up his own offensive rebounds is the fact that he's not a smart basketball player because he'll keep tipping it. He'll do it 4 or 5 times. Where if you just get a hold of it, give it to your point guard and run an offensive set, you guys will probably score. But he doesn't.
This my shit. This my shit. No, reset.
W stat padding, Drummond. Get your stat pad on, Drummond. I ain't mad at you. I'm
God awful.
But hey, let's move on to the next one. We're going to talk about the NBA awards for this season. A lot of great players. You have a lot of great players, a lot of great numbers guys are putting up, a lot of great teams out there. So this is one of the better years in terms of, the amount of guys that can win an MVP, a DPOY, a 6-man, all NBA, all that. There's just so many guys who have legitimate cases. So I guess we'll start off with sixth man of the year. We'll start off with that one. So
wow. Does Malik Monk qualify?
How
many games he played?
I'm pretty sure he qualified. I'll double check though. Let me see.
Yeah, double check that. All right, Hayes, we'll start with you. Jump to the building. Who is your sixth man of the year?
Malik Monk. It's Malik. It's two people for me. Malik Monk or Naz Reid. That's
one of them two for sure. Yeah.
That's it. Like it's a 2-man race to me, and I don't know the games.
By the way, he does qualify. He plays 72 games.
Okay. But it's that extra wrinkle. It's not just the 65.
Oh yeah, games. The time.
You got to have 65 games, and in those 65 games, you got to play over 20 minutes. It's such a stupid extra layer to add to that.
Yeah,
it's a dumbass extra rule. But
see, I get why they did it though, because some people would like play like 10 or 15 minutes just to qualify. Like they're trying to make sure that you play at least half the game. So I get it, but it just looks very bad, honestly.
The Mikal Bridges games played run when he would just check in back in the day for 5 minutes to check out.
Yeah,
they do it for a reason. Who do you have gifted?
Oh man, my initial pick was gonna be Malik Monk, but the games that he missed, even though he still qualifies, to me edges it out to where I would give it to Naz Reid. I think Naz Reid has been consistent the entire season. He's been great, but then B, when Cat went down, Naz Reid stepped up, and he's a big part of why they were still able to close out their year strong and win. And to me, showing that value on both ends, I don't think gets enough credit for the sixth man of the year award. Most years, it's whoever can score the ball the best. I think Naz has provided a ton of positional value for the Wolves. And, I still believe it's one of these two. It's close, but I'm going to go with Naz Reid.
I'm going with one of the best. What did my guy Ken say? Or Penn say? One of the top 3, 5 playmaking or passing
half-court playmakers in the league.
Half-court playmakers in the league, man. I gotta go with Malik Monk, bro. Top 5 half-court playmaker in the league, man. There's enough said.
Man, that's solid. I want to give a quick shout out to Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell definitely deserves
Hooper
some love. Yeah, Hooper doing his thing.
Also, Bobby Portis too.
Bobby Portis doing his thing for Milwaukee. He's been a
shitty ass team.
Yeah, he's been a sixth man of the year conversation for like the past 5 years. But I'm going with Naz Reid too. I do think it's between Malik Monk and Naz Reid. But like what Gifted said, Naz Reid stepping up for Minnesota when Cat was out, I think was big. Giving him buckets, playing defense. Naz Reid would be my pick. So I think so. We're split. Naz Reid 2, Malik Monk 2.
Yeah. Which is literally between those two. So I mean,
yeah. Solid.
All right. Let me throw y'all a curveball question real quick.
Sure.
The growth of Naz Reid. If the Timberwolves looked at the team and said we need to make a move, would that make you feel more comfortable if they decide to move on from Cat and shop Cat?
Here's what I would tell you, right? I think Naz Reid positionally can fill in some of the value, but I think in terms of offensive creation, he's nowhere near what Cat can do. But if you were to trade off of Cat, it would need to be for another creator in a different place. And then maybe I could see that working out for them because he still gives you size. I think he can also play with Gobert. I just like the idea of Cat and Gobert as twin towers with Naz Reid off the bench because having a player that could really be a starter on any other team, be your bench guy, makes you a very deep team.
I'm not of the belief of the Cat minutes at all. So I mean, Naz Reid coming in there, filling the shoes, and even then, like when they trade Cat, I don't think they really need to be dying for another creator like that. I think they'll just be just fine with Anthony Edwards and the way he's been progressing and what Mike Conley's capable of doing. So I think they're going to get some valuable role players from any trade with Cat. So just get some role players to revamp that guy, the Timberwolves up, man. I think they'll be just fine. I'm not even going to lie. Like it's like this Gifted. I think we talked about this before. If they trade Cat, if they fall off, it's like not by like a crazy margin. And so it's like it doesn't matter. He's not a necessity there for me. So if they move off of Cat and just big up Naz Reid, like their bar is still the same to me. If not better, depending on
I think that also shows how good Naz Reid is. Like Cat is still a quality.
Nah, it goes to show. It
goes
to show how unimpactful Carl Anthony Towns.
Nah, we shouldn't on Cat too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't go that far. I can't go that far. I can't go that far. But I hear you though.
Yeah. But all right, that's sixth man of the year. Next up, we'll go with DPOY. DPOY, that's a big one. We'll start with Dub with this one. Great. There's some guys who put up historic numbers early. There's a no name going for a historic fourth DPOY. We'll put them in crazy conversations. A lot of great defenders. So who are you thinking, Dub? Start off your DPOY pick.
Like I keep saying, if y'all about to give it to Wemby, you might as well give it to AD. I'm so serious. Like I'm tired of hearing this whole nonsense, bro. If you go and give it to Wemby, you might as well give it to AD because AD has been, bro. He's still the better defender than Wembanyama. He's been going crazy this year, so I'm not really hearing it. If everyone goes like perimeter players, give them some love. Herb Jones is up there, but I'm picking Anthony Davis every single time.
I hear you. Gifted.
Rudy Gobert, man. This is his fourth DPOY. The impact in the paint with the shot contest has been very blatant for the entire season. The rebounding and the way that he's been able to secure and lock down possessions for the Wolves. Sure, his block numbers might not be as high as Wemby's, but the positional impact that he's had when he's been on the floor has been humongous. And even with Cat off of the floor, as I said, they were able to lean in on what Gobert provides defensively, and that was enough for them to win games to close out the year. I think Gobert has been extremely consistent in his role this year, and to me, if I'm comparing this to other DPOYs that he's won before in his career, he's performing at that same level, if not greater, this season. They've been the best defense from start to finish. Gobert's played a ton of games. He's impacted winning in that role a lot. So for me, I still lean Rudy Gobert as my defensive player of the year.
Hayes?
Rudy Gobert as well. With Rudy Gobert on the court, just to put this in perspective, the Minnesota Timberwolves get 77% of the defensive rebounds.
Yeah, come on now.
That's a ridiculous number. Like
crazy.
And they're a better offensive team with him. They're a better defensive team, and part of the reason they're a better offensive team is because they get more quality possessions to take advantage of the defense before they set up, because he's able to create that many more possessions. Rudy Gobert is the defense player of the year to me.
Agreed.
Great picks. Anthony Davis, I think if
man, put Davis, AD on that crew, watch what happens, bro. I promise y'all, bro. Put AD on that crew. Y'all gonna see how crazy that
if AD
at the 5?
Hell yeah.
Okay. That'd be crazy.
AD could do everything, man.
That'd be crazy.
If he's a better roamer than like a 5, though. Still.
Who?
Anthony Davis.
Doesn't that help my point?
Rudy Gobert is a better one-on-one defender, you could say, than Anthony Davis. But I think Anthony Davis maybe is slightly better.
One-on-one.
I mean, AD is the better switch defender. Rudy Gobert is the better rim protector than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I just think shot blocker. Like rim protection isn't just shot blocking shots for me.
It's also deterring shots at the basket. Yeah.
Roaming is a part of that, and then deterring shots. So I think AD's amazing at that as well. But I mean, Rudy Gobert is probably the main thing over him is just blocking shots.
I will say with Anthony Davis, if he doesn't win one in his career, him and Tim Duncan, two greatest defensive players never to win one. I think they both are arguably top 5. You can put them in top 5 defender conversations all time, and those two guys would be crazy. But hold on, I just want to say, I think Victor's DPOY. Victor's the best defender in the league. I think that team is so bad.
Oh my god, dude!
Victor's 100% the best defender in the league. That team is 100% so bad.
The best.
They're getting blown by every single time. He's there to try to help him out at the rim. He even against guards at his size, even though they're able to get by him, he's able to use his length to just catch up and alter or block their shots. So it doesn't even matter if they can blow by him, because his ability to just to catch up to them or fix his mistakes because of his length and his kind of natural physical abilities is incredible. Absolutely incredible. He steals the ball. He impacts other guards' passes, not just scoring, not just shots, but getting into passing lanes. He does it all. Like, to me, Victor's without a doubt the best.
Can he go out one-on-one?
That's you know what it is? He's not even a bad one-on-one defender. That's you could say his maybe the weakest aspect of it, but he's not a bad one-on-one defender. Out of all the attributes, you could say it's his worst, but he's still not like again, other than like even body-wise, sure. Some of the bigger everyone's Joel Embiid's cooking everyone, Nikola Jokic's cooking everyone. So I'm not even
it's not even that. I watch guards cook him in the pick and roll all the time. Like that happens a lot.
His recovery, that's the thing though. He could get beat, but his recovery is right there. I've seen guards do that, but he gets right back.
The times he recovered, there's a time where he recovers. There's probably 3 times within the same game where he's getting cooked. So, like, I promise you, bro, there's times where Wemby will recover just fine, and I think over time he's going to get better and better at it. But this season, there's more times in the game where he's getting cooked by those actions rather than really.
I mean, getting cooked 3 times, and how many times? In 20 pick and rolls, like how many times they're doing that? Probably a ton. So if he's getting cooked 3 times, a couple times in a game, I'm okay with it. I think he's making more positive plays that more than makes up for that. But I will say,
I got to be honest. I think what you're saying about Wemby is going to be true. It's just not true this season. I think he's shown a lot of it this year, but I feel like there's a lot of flaws with him defensively that don't get talked about as much because of how shitty that Spurs team is. I understand the overall situation and spot that he's in, but I think there's a couple of players right now in the NBA that functionally are better defenders than him based off of their timing and their positioning on the floor. Wemby will definitely get to that level. I think it's crazy that he ended out his year averaging 5.6 blocks. Like he's already clearing whatever Jaren Jackson was.
5.
Yes, at the end, yes. In the last month of the season, he ended out averaging 5.6 blocks per game. Gotcha. Overall, he led the league in blocks, which again is crazy to see from a rookie player. I acknowledge all these things, but I still think he has some lanes for improvement. I just feel like in terms of rim deterrence, the answer is Rudy Gobert for this season. I would say in terms of trying to floor raise your unit, I could definitely lean Wemby, but I'm going Gobert personally.
I understand the positioning thing. Again, I just think his length, his speed, like he recovers a lot. Like I do notice that
he does.
He's in the wrong spots, but because of his natural athletic gifts and what he's able to do, he still makes up for another play and he's still a positive defender. Shout out Wemby, but AD definitely get one. But Rudy Gobert, a 4th DPOY, I think that ties him with Ben Wallace, ties him with the Mutombo.
I want to ask something about that.
Do I have 4 or 3? Yeah, this
I gotta go. I gotta see Chilltown again because I gotta ask him this because I remember we had a conversation about, if you had more than this guy, then you're better than that guy. Your accolades are a measure of your talent, and your stats are a measure of your talent.
Not trying to hear that.
Chilltown hoops.
Is Rudy Gobert a better defender than
in my head, bro, I'm like, okay, if we're going off of this train of thought, I wonder what he would say to Rudy Gobert being a better defender than Tim Duncan. Because it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's 4 more DPOYs than
it's a lot.
Tim Duncan. And in my head, because it was mainly the talks about Kareem, this is why I say people are just inconsistent when they talk about him, because we can acknowledge the fact that accolades does not determine people
100%.
except for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And that never makes sense to me. But go ahead, guys.
What do you guys ever thought about DPOY if there was 2, one for a wing or guard and one for big man? Because I do think it is a big man bias award.
Nah, I see what you're saying. Like, I mean, I could see it, but I think the DPOY should just remain what it is. I think there's an avenue for guards to get it. I just personally feel like most of the time the bigs are just more impactful than the guards. I think there's some exceptions. I think this year the work that Herb Jones and Jalen Suggs have done defensively needs to have some type of representation. But at the end of the day, I'm not taking them as guys on defense over Anthony Davis, Bam, or Wemby. I'm just not going to do it. So, I mean, that kind of is what it is.
I hear you. If Andre Karolinko's in the league, though, I'll tell you, in this league, he might be a little different. He'd be in that conversation. But moving on to the next award, we'll hit up the big boy award, MVP, most valuable player in the league. Some want to give it to the best player in the league. We're gonna leave it up to you. Who is this season's MVP? And probably one of the tightest MVP conversations I've ever witnessed. I don't know if there's been this many legitimate MVP contenders without one kind of runaway guy. Start with 2009. Maybe 09. Hayes, talk to me. Who's your MVP?
This is a difficult conversation to have because it really depends on like how you view it and I don't want to overthink it, but I'm going to say what my personal opinion is, and it goes back to, I keep going back to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to me should be the MVP this year.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion on it.
Okay.
I look at what he does offensively. I look at what he does defensively, and the load he has to carry for that offense on top of what he's still consistently bringing the defensive intensity that he does. Lucas had an amazing year. I don't want to take it away from him. Lucas had a downright great year. There's always going to be that conversation for Jokic to win it again, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for what he's doing, being the centerpiece of a young team that's been great for the majority of the season, health is well playing a part in that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stepped up in the big moments, the right moments, defensively, offensively. When you need to play, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does that, and for me, he's the MVP this year.
Gotcha. Gifted?
MVP this year is very tough, man. I went back, I watched some games here. To me, it came down to three guys: Jokic, Luka, and Shai. To me, those are the clear top three for the award this season. I was very close to leaning Luka in terms of his impact for his team for the entire year long, but I decided at the end of the day to switch my vote to Jokic. What Jokic has done for the entire season has been outstanding, but seeing how many games Jamal Murray missed and that Nuggets team still stayed afloat with how dominant Jokic was for the entire year was one thing, but to see that Jokic wound up playing 79 games in modern NBA at that size doing what he does is kind of crazy for me. He just been a phenomenal talent. I can definitely hear the Luka votes this year. Jokic averaged 26, 12, and 9, almost a triple-double on 55, 35, 81 splits, 61% effective field goal percentage. He just had a profound impact on his teammates all the way through and through. And again, the availability for him to always be there for that Denver team speaks to why they've been so good this year. So I'm leaning Jokic for me personally, but I definitely can hear some arguments.
Dub.
I mean, you know how I feel about this. I've been saying it for a while. Even though Jamal Murray has missed some games, when I look at Luka Doncic and his ability to go through changing rosters throughout the whole entire year, going through big important role players on his crew, missing time as well, and his ability to just stay afloat, still played 70 games, stay afloat, and the Dallas Mavericks has found a way to win 50 games in the year. It's crazy, like 50 games. He were only a 5 seed, but he won 50 games in this year. Going through all of those changes and all of those injuries, man, I don't see how anyone else is more important to that crew, man. He's been the most consistent guy for them. He's finally found a three-point shot, and the playmaking has always been there, so we really don't have to talk about that. And I'm not going to glaze the defense because I still think he's a bad defender, but I guess we could sit here and say he got better defensively. I hate that talk before every day. I'm not going to lie. Gifted, I hate that talk.
He's got better defensively, though.
He's got better. He's not trash no more.
Because he was in the goddamn pits of hell defensively.
He went from trash to below average or average.
Now he's the recycling bin. He's not the trash can. He's the recycling bin now. Like I'm not hearing it. Like I'm not hearing that nonsense. But yeah, Luka for me, bro. I think the winning helped in this case. Me and Gifted talked about this earlier. Yeah. The fact that now they're in a higher seeding, the fact that now they're a 5th seed, the fact that they've actually broken the threshold of 50 games. I think that just adds a cherry on top for Luka Doncic to have his first MVP this year. So, you know, I'm still rolling with that guy, bro.
A great argument. Yeah.
3 guys, 3 different picks.
Yeah, we all that means Jalen will be the tiebreaker here.
I wonder, are you going to say Wemby?
Before the tiebreaker, I got to shout out a couple people, man. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is a guy who I think deserves MVP love.
Oh, he's been great too this year.
Talk about a guy again, two-way play. There probably isn't a guy more valuable two-way defensively, offensively doing his thing. I actually think he gets the Shaq tax. Something when a guy's just so big and so dominant, we get used to it. We see it all the time. I think people just lose appreciation for it. Because what he doing is absolutely incredible. People still forget defensively what he means to that team defensively, especially this year with Lillard, with Malik Beasley out there, you know, with no kind of no point of attack defender on the perimeter. He's been having to hold it down defensively, especially with Brook Lopez taking a step back there. He's the guy defensively holding out that team. Shout out Giannis. Jalen Brunson, what he's been able to do with that Knicks team. He's a guy.
No.
Hold on. No, I'm saying in terms of value,
shout out.
I'm not my pick.
They're about to lose his mind, boy.
Jalen Brunson, a lot of other years, I think might have been, higher up in MVP voting. Because what he's meant for that team with no Julius Randle, OG getting hurt when they made the trade for him. Who else has been hurt? I think I think Josh has played a ton of games. DiVincenzo's been there. He's been kind of the one constant to every single night. If you see the run he's been on, there might not have been a better player the last month of the season. It's like every night, 35 and 10, every single night, no matter who's in the lineup, no matter the opponent, against Boston, against Washington, it didn't matter. He was showing up, carrying that team. And you talk about a guy carrying the offensive load for that team. They're really like Dante was low. He had a run, but then he had a stretch where he was kind of cooled off. Josh Hudson, you hustle, rebounding, but he's really the only guy who's really creating and consistently scoring for them. Everyone else is kind of taking turns. So shout out Jalen Brunson. Shea, I understand when you're, number one seed, best player on, the number one seed.
They got it, man.
He's always going to get him love. The value it brings to that leading young team, I get it. Jokic, I get it too. What he's been able to do, he put the numbers he's putting up, incredible. Luka, I'm probably rolling with W. Luka's my guy here. The playmaking, the scoring, he rebounds for that team. And like I mentioned too, this team hasn't been whole a lot. There've been a lot of moving parts in this team as well. They made the big trade at the deadline, still been able to perform, keep this team winning. Time to get Luka as MVP. He's been, it's been a bit of a wait just because Jokic and Embiid been doing their thing. But Luka's put up, I think, MVP numbers now for the past few years. His team just wasn't good enough. So him getting up there, I'm gonna give it to Luka. But what a great year for MVP. I just think there's so many guys, who probably deserve it, but only one could get it. Get him the MVP, the MVP. Get Luka that MVP award. And hopefully he'll cook in the playoffs and prove why he should win.
Don't you love it, right? When everything like this is occurring at once, because I brought up 2009, because you had Chris Paul having an MVP caliber season.
Mm-hmm.
It was like on the Hornets giving you 22 and like 12. Kobe Bryant, I think he was giving you like 26 or 28 a game and then being on that winning crew. Dwight Howard, 20 and like 12, along with great defense. LeBron James, because he won MVP that year. And who was that last one? Dwayne Wade. He averaged 30 points that game that year, right? So, and I feel as if times like this is something to cherish because you see literally legends in the making. You see guys going crazy and just putting on the show for you guys night. And 2009 was a great season to watch basketball. But this season right here has been one of the funnest seasons to watch basketball as well. So definitely just a level of appreciation from this year and how the league is it's at an all-time high right now, man. I love it.
And before we move on, I do want to note, and this is also why you cannot have dumbass conversations where you bring up how many MVPs, because there's years like this where it's like, bro, if Joel Embiid was healthy, he's probably the MVP. There's other guys that are playing at MVP caliber. Like, if you drop these dudes in normal regular seasons in the past, these guys individually will probably be MVPs of their seasons. Just because they didn't win an MVP does not mean they didn't play like an MVP. And that distinction matters a lot. Because then a lot of these all-star conversations, people blankly go on Basketball Reference, they read the paper, they say, okay, he won MVP, but you don't know how close it was when you're just reading things off. So
you know what pisses me off? Motherfuckers be like, oh yeah, I researched basketball in the past. I read mad articles. Shut your ass up.
You gotta really
reading articles. You're reading somebody else's who's a fan's perspective of something. Like, those articles aren't always the truth. The hell? You ain't never took what was that thing in elementary school, bro? What was that thing where you had to sit here and current events? Fucking current event, bro. Get the hell out of here, bro.
100%. Go ahead. That's very real. We got Easy over here showcasing the all-popular stack, value over replacement player, Jokic, which was 7th all-time. Yep, and LeBron's 08-09 was 2nd all-time. I think Jordan is 1st in one of those, but W stat. That's a stat. VORP, player efficiency rating, stat. People really don't know how
big stat.
Yeah, big stat. But I remember trying to look up how they're actually calculated. Jokic this year, I believe he's leading the league in VORP this year.
Yep, sure is.
Yo, Gifted, what's greatness to you, bro?
Listen, man. Greatness is greatness, man. Like I just Dub, I feel like you're personally attacking me to ask what greatness is, bro. You know what? Hug your blanket, Dub. Hug your blanket, man.
Hug your blanket. Because you got no girl to hug, Dub, is what he's saying. You got no boo to hug.
You want to, because I actually want to react to that on Dub's World. You want to react to that real quick, bro? Not today. I want to get some sleep tonight, man. But, bro, I want to react to that shit live because that was
a wild time, man.
Yo,
he was so mad.
Eat your cracker, man.
Eat your cracker.
That's crazy to say. That's crazy. So with all these MVP candidates, players that deserve MVP love, things of that nature, all NBA teams. If you're doing a first team All NBA.
Oh, hang on real quick. We're saving that for like the next episode, but we are going to be dropping our full All NBA teams and all defense teams. We still got to get through the rest of the NBA awards first, but those teams are going to be there. That's just a much longer process. So
false alarm. Next episode, tune in. We're gonna be actually on the playback episode. I guess we'll be.
Wait, Sunday's on playback?
I believe next week. Yeah, Sunday's on playback. We're gonna do.
Yeah, Sunday's gonna be live. I believe on playback and YouTube. And, I'm pretty sure they're gonna multi-stream.
Yeah, we'll be on playback, but it'll be streaming on YouTube too. But we'll be on playback. So
tune
into that. Tune into that. Yeah. I did one award I forgot was Clutch Player of the Year award. That one,
yes, sir.
Cool award, Clutch Player of the Year award. They gave it to Fox last year. My pick, I'm still rather that. My pick is Jalen Brunson for that one. I'm not mad. I think what he's been able to do, clutch moment after clutch moment, what I've seen him do.
Did you say coach yet?
No,
we haven't the coach yet.
Yeah, we can do that one next. Right now, he's on Clutch Player of the Year. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jalen Brunson again, holding it down for his team, clutch back after clutch basket every game. Hasn't had a night off. Doesn't take nights off. We know how Tibbs plays his guys. 40 minutes every night. Jalen Brunson's my Clutch Player of the Year.
You know why I hate this award so fucking much.
So subjective.
Like how can you even judge this? Like how can you even come to because I'm not gonna lie, Gifted. I don't watch every single game in the season to sit here and decipher.
I hear you on that. Yeah.
Like, bro, you need to watch every game to sit here and decipher this. But even then, go use numbers. Like, what's crunch time? Because not like every bucket you have at last 5 or 3 minutes of game is really a clutch bucket. So like, I'm like, how the hell are y'all even measuring this?
There's actually definition for it.
Yeah. It's games that are 5 points or less differential between the two teams with 3 minutes or less left in the game. So that's what clutch is. It has to be the last 3 minutes, and the teams have to be less than 5 points between those two. That's the NBA metric for clutch.
And I hate Hayes. I hate that because you know like sometimes a clutch bucket come in that 4 minute mark.
Well, the thing is, clutch is that I get what their definition is, but you can hit a clutch like a timely three when you need to change the momentum of a game is a clutch
big
play,
shot,
right?
Yes.
That's a big play. So that can happen at any point in the time. Like if a team goes on a run and you stop that run, stop that momentum with a great block or something, that's a clutch play to me. Like, so it's a really weird thing. I hate the Clutch Player of the Year award because it's not one of those awards that are easy unless you just use the NBA's definition of what a clutch time is. It's hard as hell. And then, like to Dub's point, you have to watch every single game to be able to say that. Like DeMar DeRozan, the statistics by the NBA's clutch definition, DeMar DeRozan has been the best clutch player by that strenuous definition by far. It's not even close.
That's most fourth quarter points.
I was gonna let Dub
fourth quarter though. That's the thing. It's not just fourth quarter points. Go ahead.
I was gonna let Dub cook. DeMar DeRozan is absolutely in this conversation, but the Clutch Player of the Year is Stephen Curry. For the entire season, what Steph Curry has been doing in the clutch, he leads the NBA in field goal percentage, 3-pointers made, 3-point shooting. I'm pretty sure he has like nearly a 68% true shooting in the clutch. He leads the league in 3-pointers made as well in that time as well. And I believe he is either first or second in clutch minutes. For a lot of the year, the leader of the Clutch Player of the Year was Steph Curry. DeMar DeRozan has also been there because the Bulls and the Warriors have been in the most clutch games all season. I'm pretty sure the Warriors have the biggest amount of clutch games of any team in the NBA. But those are really the two guys for this award.
Yo, Gifted, I'm
47.
sorry, bro, but Brandon Katz is your number one.
What did he say? What
He said, "What a clown." Yo,
yeah, I don't care.
That's funny as hell, bro. He's your number one up. Like,
it's all good. Shout out to Brandon. He be yapping. He be yapping. But yeah. That would be my clutch player of the year. In terms of games, DeMar DeRozan is right there. Their clutch stats are close to each other. The main difference is the volume from Steph in terms of his 3-point shooting and twos, but DeMar DeRozan has also been right there. Those two are really the only ones really in the running by what the NBA deems as clutch, in my opinion, this year.
Well, so to compare those two players, so in clutch minutes, Steph Curry scores 4.4 points, DeMar's 4.6. Field goal percentage 49% for Steph, 48.7 for DeMar DeRozan. Plus minus in the clutch, Steph Curry is 0.5, DeMar DeRozan is 2.5. They're tied in assists, tied in rebound. No, DeMar actually has more rebounds in the clutch. Free throw percentage, Steph Curry's 95 to 84 for DeMar. It's not as close as you alluded to. The 3-point shooting is the biggest gap between there.
So I would actually like to clarify because I have some more numbers here. These are the top 5 clutch scorers this season and their percentage of their team's total clutch points. So this percentage I'm about to give you. Yeah. Okay. So Steph Curry, 189 out of 401 field goals. He is responsible for 47.1% of the Warriors' clutch time points. After him, DeMar DeRozan, 182 for 525. He's shooting 34.7. So 34.7% of his team's clutch stats. After that, it's Dame at 35.3% for his team, 139 out of 394. Jokic at 129 out of 362, and then Fox at 122 out of 390. So those are all the things. Again, if your vote goes to DeMar, I can hear that, but I think that the impact in terms of the shots made and the efficiency in the clutch from Steph, especially with the 3-pointers made and the amount of clutch games that the Warriors have been in, I think he edges them out to take a home clutch player of the year. I think DeMar is definitely a candidate in this for sure. Again, it's really only those two, if you ask me. So,
hey, respect Jalen Brunson. Respect. I think LeBron James is even in the combo.
No,
I think LeBron is third for fourth quarter points this season. We talk about a Lakers team that the big games that they need to win. Who showed up for them in the fourth quarter?
We talking about clutch.
We're talking about
clutch. Yeah, I'm talking about clutch. But what we talking about clutch blocks. We talking about clutch playmaking, clutch buckets. Who did more than that than LeBron James? If we really have that card, let's be real though. Like they needed LeBron to be super clutch.
DeMar DeRozan and Steph Curry.
Real quick, I'm not gonna pay this. I'm not gonna pay this too much attention. I just want to real quickly do this. Curry should be disqualified. Yeah, Curry should be disqualified because of a playing game after the regular season. You're an idiot. But my bad. We can keep it going though. We can keep it going. My bad.
Yo, this Brandon and Gibson.
Y'all know Brandon Cat sniff glue. He still definitely sniff glue.
He do be sniffing glue.
Have y'all talked to him before?
He 100% be sniffing glue.
Have y'all talked to him on stream before? Never, not once.
I actually have one time. He came up and he completely said all of his points in the chat incorrectly and flipped everything to what I was saying and then told me I was wrong. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yo, don't he sound like an AI?
Yeah, he does.
Brandon Cat strikes me as somebody who's attracted to women's belly buttons. You can't take that into
not the belly button.
Why belly button? Why you gotta say belly button?
I knew Jalen was gonna say it too. What's up?
I mean, a nice belly button piercing is cool. Ain't nobody mad at it,
Oh, snap! We still got to get through the rest of our things there. We still got a coach of the year and I believe executive
we got
of the
2
year.
minutes.
I thought you said next episode.
Yeah.
You literally said next episode.
Oh yeah, that's for all NBA auto team. But to be fair, we can also wrap up the rest of it in the next one too. So that's fine. Cool.
It's all right. We got to go. We can keep going. Talk about Brandon Katz. I don't know. Keep going, Brandon. Don't let us speak to you like that, Brandon.
Send us home, bro. Send us home.
Send us home, man. Jalen into belly buttons. That's crazy.
Do you, my guy? You?
Jalen be like, let me see that shit real quick.
I mean, the stuff.
Jalen be like, hey girl, you're cute. Your ass is fat. I love that. But how deep is your belly button? though? I need to know how deep.
What if she had an Audi? I'm not gonna lie, Audis are not my thing.
You better let me get in that joint real quick.
That's crazy.
Let me see that real quick.
Oh man.
You ever got licked on your belly button before? I'm gonna be the first one to do it. No, that's what Jalen be saying. That's not what y'all. That's what Jalen be saying.
Have a great season.
That's what Jalen be saying.
Much appreciated. We love all the support. Make sure to like the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things, man. Enjoy playing playoff basketball.
Nah, no way y'all did me like that. No way y'all did me like that. There's no way y'all doing me like that.
We appreciate y'all, man. Hey, y'all have a great one.
Next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Nah,